It's showtime.
What's up, guys? Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more. And I'm back from my vacation and my 1 week hiatus, which I didn't even produce a video, which is pretty unprecedented for me. But, you know, I had to take a break, so there's that. So, I'm coming back with you guys with a review of the Dark Tower movie. I just came from the movie and I'm freaking dead tired. Want to go to sleep, but I want to finish off with this review. Okay, so this movie is based off Stephen King's novel series and directed by Nicolas Arcel, who actually screenwrote The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish version. And that movie's fucking phenomenal. So going in, I was expecting some big things from this movie because of this guy. It's interesting because I'm looking at the timeline for this movie and the development history, and it looks like J.J. Abrams started it off in 2007 to 2009. Then it was Ron Howard, 2010 to 2015. And then it was Nicolas Arcel, who was 2015 to present, and really like took over the entire project. So it's interesting to see all of these different, different minds come in and create something like this. And of course, the dreaded Sony is part of this. And you know bad things are going to happen when Sony is a part of that franchise and tries to really create a new franchise with a property. So the best way to describe the Dark Tower is like it's an alternate universe. It's like another dimension that is similar to Earth, but it's like twisted and destroyed to no avail. And if there was a nuclear apocalypse and there was like mutants and demons and crazy stuff happening, you would see that in the Dark Tower world of Midworld. That's where Roland, played by Idris Elba, that's his world. And then we have Tom Taylor, and his world is present day Earth. And pretty much both of them collide with one another and try to save the entire cosmos and prevent the Dark Tower from being destroyed. That's pretty much the basis of the film. Pretty much the idea of an alternate world, alternate dimension, different from Earth, is what appealed to me for the Dark Tower series. I had no idea it connected with Earth, but it actually did. And I really became a fan of the series, not through the novels, but actually the comic book series that Marvel created, which is like the prequel series to, the novels. And I think they're fucking excellent. It's really not so much Stephen King who really wrote those books, but it was actually, I think it was 2 different writers, and, adapting from that, from their, the Dark Tower series, and creating their own thing. What appealed to me most was the artwork by Richard Eisenoff. He actually did the artwork for some of my favorite Marvel stories, like old school stuff. Marvel 1602, as well as Wolverine Origin, one of my favorite comic book stories of all time. And he did the Dark Tower series, and his artwork is just so appealing to me because it's just so dynamic and just freaking creepy, man. Like, just look at this shit, alright? Like, he helped mold, like, really show us the Dark Tower universe and really showed off the creepy and weird vibes to me. And it just, like, somehow it just appealed to me. I know I'm weird. I know I'm really weird, but just once you read it, once you see the pages for yourself, you're going to be like, yeah, I need to read this now. It's freaking weird and creepy, but I want to dive in. Okay. Now, so the prequel series really focuses on Roland and the downfall of his civilization, and then eventually it becomes the novel series. I've actually never read the novels, nor have I ever, read the comic books into those, but I've always wanted to one of these days. But anyway, I highly recommend the prequel series. I've just gotten the Dark Tower through the prequel series of the comic series, and I freaking loved it, man. I was invested in it, and it was just a cool, interesting take on just a new Western sci-fi fantasy type of genre. It was like all 3 genres crammed into one, and it freaking worked. Let's just talk about the good, okay? Let's talk about the good about this movie, talk about the bad, and the problems I had with the film. So the good. Alright, so Idris Elba, Tom Taylor, I think it's Tom Taylor, Matthew McConaughey, they're good, okay? They're not spectacular. I was really expecting a really spectacular performance by Idris Elba, but I think most of these performances are just good. They're okay, you know? They're not standout. They're not like, oh my god, these are such great, memorable roles. They're just, they did their job, but they just didn't push the limit for me. And then we have the action towards the end. There was like this big fight. I thought the action was pretty good, as well as having the freaking movie at 1 hour and 30 minutes. I kid you not, this movie's an hour and a half. And that's the bad. The movie is way too short, okay? This movie should have been 2 hours, 2.5 hours, easily. I know it's long. It sounds like it's really long, but hour and a half is just too short, and especially for a big series like this, having one movie jam-packed, squished together in just one freaking film, it won't do the job, man. It's gonna suffer. And it really showed. Like, they just crammed so much stuff into the film without really understanding and really keeping a hold of it. There is just so much thrown at you that you will not understand unless you've read the books or, understand the lore. And even then, like, they just throw all this stuff in, and it's kind of corny how they pulled it off. It just didn't really work. And the plot got convoluted as hell. After the first 15-20 minute mark, you got the premise that was Tom Taylor's character was, undergoing these visions, and he went to the world, discovered Roland, and, it gets a lot more convoluted than that, and the plot is just, it suffers. It really suffers. And it just throws all of this lore in your face. So if you're a newcomer, you're gonna fucking hate this film because it just throws all this shit at you and expects you to know all of the stuff that they're mentioning. Now, is this movie really as bad as many people are saying? It's like 12% on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't think so. I mean, I think it's a serviceable movie. It's not that good, but it's just like, it's just nothing spectacular, but it's just like, it's fine, but it's just, for me as a Dark Tower fan, it just really suffers. Like, it's just not something that really pushes the boundary and becomes a spectacular thing like the novel series was set out to be. A lot of people have been expecting this, and unfortunately, this is what we got instead. And I didn't really know this too, but this is supposed to be the canonical, I'm looking at Wikipedia, a sequel to the novel series. So it's like after the novels. I thought it would be directly linked to the novels, since I've actually never read the novels, really don't know what they're about, but this is like the movie is like the sequel to the novels. Unfortunately, the Dark Tower movie gets This is a movie that I've been anticipating for quite some time, and unfortunately they just kicked themselves in the butt. They really did so many things with this movie that made you just scratch your head and wonder why they committed suicide over this movie. Like, seriously, like, Sony, what the hell? This is a $60 million budget, which is like really like not really asking too much, but it didn't really make anything in the box office the first week. I mean, I'm sure it's going to make its budget without an issue, but it's like, it's kind of a failure right now. And plus, the biggest thing they missed out on was the freaking marketing. They marketed the Emoji Movie and the fucking Jumanji movie more than this fucking movie. Why? What the hell? When movies are marketing back in, Christmas time or New Year's time, so many freaking trailers. Hell, freaking Black Panther had a trailer earlier than fucking Dark Tower. And Dark Tower ended up having their first trailer at least 2 or 3 months before the release of the movie. That is pathetic. That's not how you market a movie, okay? Now, the 2 month mark, there would be more stuff, yes. But you gotta market way before in advance. Have one trailer, one big trailer, have people talking about it, and eventually build up to more and more trailers. But don't just throw a trailer at like 1 or 2 minute mark and then people like, okay, I'm gonna go out and see this. Like, that's not how it works. Like, WB, Disney, they plan this shit in advance, and it works. So next up, it's gonna be a while till I do a movie review. I'm thinking about next month, I will be reviewing one of my favorite Studio Ghibli films, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I was thinking about doing Castle in the Sky this month, but I'm gonna do it, Nausicaa next month. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm gonna be watching it in theaters, baby. Even though I already have the DVD, seeing it on the theater, on the big screen, should be interesting, to say the least. And I will be having a review for Battlefront, so look out for that on the channel very soon. And I gotta incorporate Defenders, the TV show. I'm gonna be binge watching the shit out of that and giving you guys a review of that eventually. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, and I'll see you, my fellow Mandalorian brothers and sisters, next time. Oh, yeah! Oh, I'm tired as fuck!